regulations so that we do not have drug abuse and also exploitation of the poverty of others, because there are people who may be addicted to drugs, and when we leave a framework where they can easily access drugs, then it means we'll be exploiting their poverty and their situations. Madam Speaker, I just want to also say that I also support this bill because it recognizes alternative medicine, though it needs to define what alternative medicine is. Actually, when I was looking at this bill, I went and tried and to make a definition or to define alternative medicine, only to discover that it's already defined under the Health Act. So there may be some cleaning up that this may need to be done. A few other things that we need to make reference to the relevant acts. Another issue is I'm happy that it recognizes herbal medicine. However, from the approach that this bill is giving herbal medicine, it is very scared. It's like we want to recognize it, but we still seem to think that herbal medicine is witchcraft from the way we are dealing with this. Herbal medicine is not witchcraft. In fact, 25% of all world medicines are derived from herbs. And now that we can actually recognize that there is the importance of herbal medicine, especially here in Kenya, then what we need to do is then to make sure that we give it the proper place. And I have proposed amendments that would ensure that we mainstream herbal medicine. I've said it before the House that we even have, in our own country, Kenya, we have several plants that are actually, like Mwarubaine and others, that are actually helping us, and they're herbal medicine. And for women, gynecological issues, most of our gynecological issues are actually dealt with by herbal medicine, much less by the modern medicine, or what we perceive as modern medicine. Madam Speaker, it also recognizes generic drugs, though I'm still trying to figure out how we deal with it in relation to intellectual property rights. But I think that one of the things that is of concern to me is that it gives the doctors who are prescribing the medicine the opportunity to then allow the dispensing chemist a chance to dispense the generic drugs, but does not give the patient a chance to refuse the generic drugs. Because sometimes you go to a healthcare facility and what the doctor prescribes for you is not what you're given, and then, even for you, when the doctor is prescribing that alternative, the doctor needs to get your concurrence, because I may not want generic drugs. So those are things that are not there. Madam Speaker, I have several proposed amendments, and I will be bringing them at the right time. And Madam Speaker, I've actually talked to Honorable Osoro off the cuff, and I would want to bring it here. And I want to encourage the leadership of the majority that do not be worried or scared about amendments. We are all Kenyans, and if I propose an amendment, I'm only doing it to further the good or the benefits for Kenyans. So do not be scared. Like yesterday, I actually had some proposed amendments to the primary health care bill, but we are moving at such supersonic speed that we cannot bring proposed amendments, even though it was such a good bill in itself. But we wanted to look at adherence for people with HIV and AIDS. We wanted to look at ensuring that the issue of sexual and gender-based violence is treated as a health issue, because it provides a framework that reaches the household. And those are issues that are very significant. But the way we are moving, and it's unfortunate that we want to try and even shorten debate on this important bill, which is of significance to other members. And I'd want to encourage the leadership of this House that if you are not careful, very soon we'll be having what we call legislative dictatorship. We are used to executive dictatorship, but we are increasingly seeing what is appearing as legislative dictatorship. We know that you have the numbers, but have your way as we have our say. But where you use standing orders to keep stifling our voices, it's not a good thing, especially when you have a very good bill. Let members speak to it. The world is not ending tomorrow or the day after. Let us talk to them. Let us add value. I don't see why we are rushing like we are worried. Chair, there's also the issue of the quacks. And I want to thank Honorable Mayaka for raising that issue. That through this bill, we will bring an amendment to ensure that we don't have everybody dispensing drugs aimlessly. Madam Speaker, we know that there are many, many young girls who are dying because of abortions, especially unsafe abortions, and girls who are given drugs by people who are not qualified. And when we actually make it so easy for people to dispense who are not qualified, then we are actually creating a problem. Even, Chair, another thing that I saw that was of concern to me is the issue of giving one of the qualifications for the CEO is that the CEO should be an engineer. I don't understand why the CEO should be an engineer when you are dealing with the drugs. What engineering do they need? Because even though we are dealing also with the devices, you actually do notice that most of it is about drugs. I was actually, one of my proposed amendments was either you separate it so that it is not about devices, it's only drugs. But if it is drugs and devices, then we actually need to bring an amendment even to the name of this bill so that it's Kenya Drugs and Devices Bill. Otherwise, this is a very good bill, and I want to yet again congratulate the chairman and the committee for this bill. I do support, and once again, urge the leadership to avoid legislative dictatorship. We are members, we also represent constituents, and I cannot bring an amendment that harms my own constituent. Thank you, I support.
Honorable Rashid Benziba, member for Kisauni.
Madam Speaker, ni kushukuru kwa kunipa nafasi pia mimi kupenyeza sauti yangu. Ingawa nilikuja mapema nikitaka kuzungumzia mambo ya ajali barabarani, lakini sikupata nafasi. Lakini pia niseme kwamba niwapongeze kamati kwa kuja tena kanuni za kuweza kulinda afya za wananchi. Kwa sababu taifa lenye nguvu ni lile taifa ambalo wananchi wake wana afya. Na ni vyema sana pia wale wanaouza madawa wawe ni watu ambao wana ujuzi huo, sio tu wanapeana, kwa sababu mara nyingi daktari anapoandika madawa wanarudi na sema hizi hakuna lakini hizi zinafanana. Kwa hivyo zingine zinakwenda zinadhuru wananchi. Na pia wananchi wanatosha waelezewe kwa makini kwamba dawa hii unatumia madhara yake ni haya. Dawa nyingi zina side effect. Mtu anaanza kutibiwa ugonjwa huu, mara anaambiwa figo tayari imeharibika. Kwa hivyo ni vyema sana watu wawe na taarifa kamili ya kuelezwa kwamba hizi dawa zina madhara kiasi gani. Kwa hivyo asante.
You have a balance. The Honorable Benziba, member for Kisauni, you have 8 minutes.